It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, and welcome to the Forum on Eagle Television. It's great having you watch along as our guest today is going to talk about the history of Ellis County. Lee Dobratz is our guest here, and she's heading up the Ellis County Historical Society. And you know what? For those of us that have been through that, you guys have some amazing things down there, history of Ellis County. How far back do you go? And tell us a little bit about a few of the things in the Historical Society.
Well, I only go back 3 years, but our stuff is much older than that.
It goes back a ways.
Yeah, we have things that are back from the 1870s and 1880s, which is only 10, 15 years after Hayes was founded in 1867. So we've got some really neat stuff.
You know, you walk through there and you realize what a rich history we had. I had somebody the other day tell me that they were watching Gunsmoke, and they were talking about Hayes, going up to Hayes, and that history is really rich, and
Yes.
the Historical Society has done a good job of trying to make that happen, along with the German ancestry that we have in this area as well. So how did you get excited about Ellis County history and being in charge of the society?
Well, I went to a university in Wichita State University, and my graduate degree is in anthropology, where I had the great opportunity to work with a very large anthropology collection and work with it and research it and understand how that all fits in a museum setting. Got some great training. Then I went and I dabbled in libraries for a while. I ran my hometown library in Council Grove for 5 years and got administrative experience. And so then I was ready to go back into museums. And I was looking on the website and looking around on the internet for jobs. This one came open and I said, hey, that sounds pretty interesting. And I like a good challenge. So after I came out for an interview and they showed me some of the stuff we needed to work on, I said, hey, I can do that.
Well, it's a fun place and it's growing, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But over the holidays, you have people come through, you have Christmas holidays, you have some fun things that go on. But we're not heading into the holidays, we're heading into summer. Tell me about some of the things coming up at this Historical Society.
Yeah, we always participate in Art Walk. We've gotten much more involved in it, and we're having a lot more success with visitors. We're kind of part of the art loop now. Instead of people coming down to breathe and stopping, we're just one more block past breathe. So they come on across the street and enjoy what we have to offer too. We have some new to us bronzes that are amazing that were donated in October from Dryling Oil. They are Omer Knowles pieces, the Leo and Albina Dryling busts. You've seen them on campus, and you may have seen them out at NCK Tech. There's 3 sets of them, and we now own a set, which is incredible. Omer is a local guy who's a Volga German, and so it just kind of ties all the history of the area kind of in one pretty package, and we're really proud to have those.
And you don't think about art necessarily with history, but you do have some pretty interesting art down there as well.
Well, we do, and we feel that it's important to remember the work of the artists that are from here. Hayes has an incredible number of artists compared to any other town in Kansas I've lived in. Wichita has a lot of artists, but it's a big city. And Hayes and the surrounding area, I think there's a lot to be said for seeing the work that's done by our local people.
And that probably leads into one of the things you're working on, and that is trying to find maybe a different facility.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, without being too depressing, our current facility is old. It's old. The Stone Church, nothing's happening to the Stone Church. It's on the National Historic Registered Landmarks. I said that wrong. The National Register of Historic Landmarks. I think I flipped a couple of words there. Sorry.
It sounds like something I would do. Okay, so it's there. It's not going anywhere.
So it's there. No, it's not going anywhere. It's from 1879. It was built in 1879. And it needs some work done on it. And it needs to be remodeled so it's a more inviting space for us to use for events or for exhibits. But the brick church that's right there on the corner of 7th and Main was started in 1922 and completed in 1926 when some of that neoclassic building was going, when Carnegie was really into building libraries and such. And it just hasn't held up as well as the limestone building has, surprisingly, even though the limestone's so much older. So we have a lot of water problems in the brick building. The north and south walls actually turn into waterfalls if there's a strong thunderstorm. We've seen it, and it's just, you just don't know what to say. So we mop up puddles and, shop back up water. It's not in danger of falling in on us at any minute. The mortar's just disintegrating because it's very old mortar.
Well, how do
and
you
it's
protect
letting that
some
water
of the
come
art?
in.
How do you protect some of the history if water's coming in? That sounds
Plastic.
like it. Yeah.
We know where it comes in, thank goodness, so we're able to move things out of that spot or to cover them so that they aren't affected by direct water.
So the idea would be to move what's in the brick facility out of that into another location?
Yes.
And the rest remains as it is with some of the history down there?
Yeah, the stone church, of course, will stay where it is. I wouldn't even want to fathom that project. The fire museum will stay. The Volga German house, it's just across the park, will stay, and the fountain. And we're looking at building on that far west part of that block, the part towards 4th Street rather than the part towards Main Street.
Okay.
To meet our needs and still be on campus so we can still use those old buildings on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and keep preserving them and keeping them as part of our mission.
Now, you're not trying to sneak up and surprise anybody with this, Lee, because I know you've been
No.
sending some cards out. You're really looking for input.
Yes.
What kind of input? What's helpful?
Well, we think it's a great idea, but we need to make sure that everybody else in town thinks it's a great idea. And out in the county, we don't want to attempt to start a really large project, tell everybody how great it is, and then have everybody say, oh, well, we don't think it's a great project. You can't get anything good done that way. So we really want some strong feelings from the community. There's lots of different ways people could help us in going forward. Little jobs, big jobs. There's just going to be a lot in fundraising to fund the new structure because we're not going to take out a giant loan. That wouldn't be responsible. And in fundraising, we're going to be talking to a bunch of people around the county about if they would like to contribute to the construction. That's part of what you do too. So we're going to be doing all of that. We just want to get a positive feeling from everybody that we're doing the right thing.
What do you see the building looking like?
Oh gosh, I have it in my head.
I assume it's not going
how
to look like an
mine
old brick
looks.
building. It's not going to look like an old brick building.
No. We want to incorporate the different building styles that have been in Ellis County since 1867. So we want to involve some of that Wild West feel. We want to involve limestone in it, glass. There's some possibilities of incorporating some of the pieces from the brick building, like some of the stained glass windows or some of the woodwork or something into the new building to show kind of how we've evolved and changed and how we still treasure what we had, but a new structure is really necessary to continue going forward in a responsible way.
Well, we want to know from you what you think. We'll come back with some details on how you can go online, take a survey, and talk about what you think we need for the Ellis County Historical Society. Lee, thanks for being here at First Half. We'll be back right after this.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
Hi everyone, this is Gerard Welbrock inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk. We record it over the noon hours Mondays at Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hayes, and play back at 6 o'clock Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can also catch it on Eagle TV's channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and always on HayesPost.com. So join us for Tiger Talk over the noon hour Mondays at Old Chicago.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum. Lee Dobratz is our guest, and she is head of the Ellis County Historical Society. Been there for 3 years, working on some new things going forward. hold on, because we're going to talk about how you can fill out a survey with your ideas and thoughts as well. If you have any programs, suggestions, ideas for shows here on the forum, let me know. You can send me a note at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Also, when you see me running around town, you just grab me and say, Gary, I have a great idea for a show. That works as well. Again, our guest, Lee Dobratz with the Ellis County Historical Society. And Lee, we went into the break talking about a survey you're trying to take. I had a card arrive in the mail that said, here's how you go to that. For those out there that maybe didn't read that, threw it away, etc., how do they find out? How do they go and take the survey?
Very simple. You go to our new website. It's ECHS, like Ellis County Historical Society, hayes.org. And our first post on that landing page is a link to go to the survey and take it. It's an easy 5 questionnaire. Just asks, if you live here locally, if you come to the museum, how often do you come? Are you a member? Are you in favor of a new building? And how might you like to help? And of course, if anybody has other questions, they're welcome to respond and make a comment on the website, or they can contact us directly, because any of those questions that we could answer for you and make you feel more comfortable with this process that we really want to go ahead with, I'll be happy to help you.
So if you look at the whole scope of things, will the brick building at the end on Main be torn down then?
Eventually, yeah. That's the plan, because it would take so very much money to keep it standing. And other than something very different, like making it into a theater or something, would be very expensive, and it's also not handicap accessible. It would take a lot of money to make it handicap accessible, and it's just not where we want to focus our funding. We feel like we could better use it elsewhere.
And do that. And size-wise, how big a building are you looking for? Because there's only a certain amount of space on the lot, but you can do multi-levels and a whole lot of things.
Right. We haven't started. We've identified a project company that we'd like to work with, but we haven't dedicated, voted or dedicated time or money to that just yet. But they will be willing to come up with 3 different ideas of how we can do that, different footprints, and we can kind of make them work together. Currently, with the brick building, the storage we have there, plus the off-site storage, because we actually have so much stuff, we have to rent an off-site space. We have right about 10,500 square feet that we use every day. And that space is overcrowded. If you've been down, we're busting at the seams. You're welcome to come down anytime and see. So we're looking at the new building being at least 20,000 square feet, because not only do we need to properly house what we have now, but we really need to plan for the future. We need to plan for the lifespan of that building. We don't want to not give them any room for 50 years from now.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, hope you do the website again. Where do you go?
ECHSHayes.org.
And then click on that link.
Yeah.
And if you're watching the show, go there right now, fill it out, give Lee and the group some ideas, because you have a board that helps you get all this done. You have a volunteer board that goes along with that to help get that done. And those decisions, not only, I don't think you're trying to get this done tomorrow, but you want to get the process rolling. And your ideas out there, filling out that survey, giving you a call, stopping by the Historical Society, all those things would be helpful as you're trying to grow that.
Very helpful.
Lee Dobratz is our guest here, and she's on the forum with us, and the forum's brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.